Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris Hayden. I'm a producer here at Fierce. And today I'm joined by Jeff Keller, President of Medical Affairs from Propel Health.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, making the
Absolutely.
long trip all the way down from Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Much appreciated. So, Jeff, we'll jump right into it, okay?
Sure.
So, with customer engagement and scientific exchange rapidly evolving, what should medical affair teams be doing to remain relevant and impactful?
Interesting question. So, we're at a really unique point in time right now. So, the technology is evolving incredibly fast. I think the industry is coming up with new novel treatments at an incredibly fast pace. So, to stay relevant, I think we've got to make sure that we truly understand all the different stakeholder needs. And I think technology helps us get to that at a much faster pace. So we've got a little bit more time prior to launch of these assets to really get the marketplace ready. I think the other thing with all these different stakeholders, their needs are quite different. Patients, payers, the clinicians, nurse practitioners, everybody who's involved in that care continuum, they've all got different needs. And if we can make sure that we're truly understanding what their needs are early, by the time you get to launch, I want to make sure we've considered how's a payer going to react to this asset and have we published the data that supports that position. So all of those kinds of things right now are really interesting. And I think it's simple to sum it all up. You got to start with the end in mind
Right.
and prep for that and work really, really hard to make sure you've covered all your bases.
Yeah, it's interesting because technology is pushing everything faster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting from start to finish. And
It
all
it is, and I think for us, we're users of technology. We are communicators, we're in R&D, we're in all of those types of things, and then you have these tech companies that are coming up with really cool ways to generate content. Question becomes, how do we do that in an ethical fashion? They can quickly aggregate and synthesize and summarize all this publicly available information. That's gonna save our teams time, but I wanna take those tools and put them in the hands of the, quote, "the learned intermediary," that expert person who then can use the tool to help solve, the unsolvable problem. They're all imperfect problems because there's too many variables to try to quantify, but I think those tools are gonna help us get there sooner.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that's interesting. So, and how have you seen the role of medical affairs evolve over time, and particularly in driving cross-functional alignment and collaboration?
Sure, and I think it goes back to the stakeholders, right?
Yes,
And I
exactly.
think Med Affairs is often the first interaction with the marketplace.
Yep.
So you got to get the first one right and you got to keep it right. So I think they play this really cool role of getting all those stakeholders from the internal team together. Everybody talk about what your particular needs are going to be at some point in the future when this asset comes to market. And we do our best to workshop that and prep for that. So 3 to 5 years before all that happens, we're thinking about it. And again, starting with that end in
The
mind.
angle,
I
yeah.
think that's their role in that discussion is, in my opinion, probably one of the things that's changed the most. And I think the second thing is, and it's been talked about at the meeting quite a bit, I think the days of just playing with the science are over. And now everything you do, there's got to be a conscious choice or decision. How is this going to impact our business? So that whole business acumen within medical affairs is becoming a skill set that
Oh,
is
interesting.
is it's no longer a nice to have. I think it's a must
Yeah.
have. And that's kind of the unicorn within medical affairs is when you find those people that both understand the science and how that science is gonna play in a business environment, that's a really cool combination
Yeah.
of skill.
Yeah, I can imagine. And a developing one, I would assume. We're
Absolutely.
probably seeing it more and more now.
Constantly, and I
Yeah.
think I sat in a panel, earlier today, and there was a couple of folks from the pharma side who were talking about that very thing, how the transition from academia to a business side, and what they're looking for, you have to have the foundational scientific skill set.
Yep.
It starts with that. But a lot of folks are coming out of these programs now where they've been exposed, they've done internships, they've done fellowships, and they're coming into the industry probably better equipped. And then on the agency side, where I've lived for 10 years, 15 years, we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing these fellows coming out, unbelievable talent, and they are now aware of all the business pressures that we face and that are real.
Right. Exactly. And that matter to the bottom line,
Oh, for sure.
essentially. Yeah.
For sure.
I think that's great. So where, and kind of building on that again, where has Propel decided to innovate in the M&A side of the business, and what impact you expect that to have?
Sure. Propel's an interesting company. So we run one of the other divisions, 50,000 speaker bureau programs a year. And that was the business for a long, long time. And they spun out an agency. And then we also have this medical affairs group. So for us, we're building on some of the technology that it's already existing in the company. If you're going to run 55,000 programs a year, you have to have great technology underneath. And with a tinker or two, you can really turn that into a true omni-channel engine. And that's where we're headed. Again, consistent with the theme of the meeting, this whole concept around understanding those stakeholders in an everly increasingly complex world. What do they prefer? How do they like to be communicated to and with?
Right.
And some folks prefer to go out and go to a live program. Other people are going to do their research online using an AI tool or going to a podcast. We want to be able to serve up scientifically relevant, impactful content, however you want to receive it.
Right.
And figuring that out takes a little bit of, I think, some common sense. I think it takes some technology. And I think it also takes an engine that sits underneath that's able to help us accelerate the process. And I think that's what we're building at Propel.
Sure. That's great. That's great. Now, looking ahead,
Yeah.
crystal ball time.
Oh,
Yes. Looking ahead, how do you see medical affairs transforming in the next few years? Is kind of what we've
yeah.
talked
I've
about.
always said I wanted to get out of the prediction
I know.
business. But if you look for it, in I've been doing this a long time, you listen a lot. And when I'm listening at this meeting, I think the pendulum is kind of swinging towards this whole omni-channel approach. It's hard to gain the attention of people that you're trying to push information to. And I think it's also, conversely, it's really hard to change the hearts and minds of healthcare practitioners.
Yeah.
They're inherently skeptical for a reason. That's the whole scientific method. That's why they really love the data. So we're trying to balance those two things. Make sure we're giving them really credible, applicable, relevant, timely information so they can make better decisions, hopefully.
Yep.
Because in the end, we all want the same thing,
Right.
better outcomes for
Yeah.
patients. And as long as we keep that in the center of our target, we're going to, I think, do great as an industry. And I think there is, no matter how tempting all this other AI and all this stuff can be, it really feels when you talk to people at these meetings that the patient is still center, that,
Good.
that they're right where they should be as the focal point of everything that we're trying to do.
Yeah. It's great. I
Yeah.
love it. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Pleasure.